Look at that right now. Dangers of a wire wheel. So first I got rid of the air box. Then I'll get rid of the windshield washer fluid container. I mean, you can almost get to the power steering lines, but for a couple extra minutes of work, it'll just have so much more room to work, so it's going to make it a lot better. With a couple minutes of work, you can get at the lines nice and easy, so that'll make it a lot easier for working. So here's the line, and there's the fan. I can't even get my finger between the two of them. That's how tight of an operation this is. So that's kind of a poor design on GM to have the power steering line so close to the fan. But anyways, the fan, about 6 months prior to this, it was replaced. And yeah, so you know, if you're doing a fan, you might want to look at your power steering lines at the same time. Mechanic put on the fan, but you know, you never know, right? Like, you're just trying to fix an old vehicle to keep it running for a little bit longer. But at the same point, you know, when you're doing a job, if you look around, you might, you know, catch something else. But anyways, there you go. Then way down there is the power steering lines too, and it's pretty tight. So way back there is where the lines go into the rack, and that's where I got to fish my right hand. And then my left hand I can reach in from the back, but I'm right-handed, so the left hand can, the only thing to do is hold stuff, and so yeah, there you go. So this is not an easy thing to film and do, but anyways, my right hand's there, up and around the drive shaft, then bender to get it back here to the lines, and then use my left hand to kind of assist. I mean, I'm not working at my buddy's master shop today, so I wish I had a couple more extensions, but you know, I make do with what I got. So there you go. It's not easy, that's why I've kind of spread it out over a couple days. Then that way I can do the best job I can for my girlfriend. So there you go. And a little patience, you'll get the job done. Then from the back side, you can reach around the A-frame and get your left hand in there to help assist. It's really not easy, because above the drive shaft, you don't have a lot of room, and you just got to get your hand in a certain way to get it up and around between that and the frame. It's just not an easy thing to explain, an easy thing to film either. But anyways, a little bit of patience, you'll get it done. Getting a little cut up, but that's okay. That's life. Got to get this job done. So for one line, the return line goes from the pump to the cooler. It's just got 2 clamps on it. It's kind of a pain in the ass to show, but it goes underneath the rad. Only has about 1/2 inch clearance, and then goes to the cooler, which is basically underneath the rad. And then from the pump, the pressure side, it goes from the pump underneath the fan, and then back up and just around the top of the suspension, and then goes back down to the rack. Yeah, you got to bend your hands in ways that's really not possible, but you got to do what you got to do to get it done. And then the non-pressure side, it goes from the rack back to the cooler, and that was actually the line that was leaking. So it's one of those things. But anyways, it's just not an easy job to do, but I basically spread it out over 2 days, take a break from it. But yeah, you get her done, and you can save power steering fluid. So tidbits of information on the 2002 Trailblazer replacing power steering lines. I did it turning it all the way to the right and then all the way to the full lock left
with it out running, that was kind of nice. You can hear the power steering fluid work its way down from the pump into the lines, but eventually you will have to start it up. I heard of a story from a mechanic saying some dealership guy would reach through the window and then you'd fire it up. Well, he had the line switched and then it took full lock right because the pressure wanted to go somewhere and the guy broke his wrist. So that's easily can be happened. That's a little thing to watch out for. The Trailblazers, it's really hard to switch the lines, but it's possible, definitely possible. They have a little tab, and on one side of the tab they have the pressure line come out, and he's welded, and then the other side is a non-pressure line, and you got to slide the non-pressure line in to that tab, and then put it into the back of the rack, and then put a bolt. So it's really not an easy, fun job to do. But you know, it's best to do it over a couple days, and if it gets done sooner, great. If not, you know, it is what it is. If you're trying to save some money, you might as well take your time and do a decent job. I mean, one thing you got to do with these lines is you should take this electronic stuff off if you want the lines to sit in the factory spot, but we're not restoring this vehicle. It's only going to get drove for 2 or 3 years, maybe 4 years, but it's no harm having the lines run on top of the electrical lines here. Like, there's no way you're going to feed these lines underneath all this electrical stuff. There's about half a dozen lines for the power, so that's a lot of you know, moving lines and stuff out of the way. That probably be another hour or two worth of work, but you know, there's no harm going on top. And then I just zip strip them down so you're just not going to go anywhere. Yeah, it's a little bit, you know, rough, but it's not like this vehicle is going to be on the road for 10, 20 years. It's just going to be on the road for 2 or 3, and then that'll be probably it, because it does have about 260,000 on it, so you can't expect it's going to go 600,000-700,000 kilometers. Well, now I'm checking for leaks. Everything seems to be good, so friggin' right. This job here probably saved my girlfriend $1,200. You know, going over to the States, going over to the neighbors, we saved about $700 on 2 lines. So, you know, that's a great savings. And the labor, so it's pretty damn good. So, you know, if you're gonna do this job, I suggest you take 2 days to do it, because you're always gonna have to go get some little part or something, or things just don't go right. You know, it's just not an easy job, but you can do it. It doesn't take full 2 days, but probably start to finish, working hard at it, 8 hours. Anyways, have a good one, y'all. Well, it's done.